I've been playing the harp for about 16 years now. I began playing harp when my parents met someone who played harp, and I'd go over her house, and I played flute at the time, and we played little flute and harp duets. I did go to school. I went to college for harp, and I went to graduate school for harp. I studied classical music for both degrees. I got into playing and working with the jazz department when I was in college. And after college, I started to work in both jazz and popular music. If you were listening to Common's album, Finding Forever, you'd hear me on the first track. When you get John Legend's album, you'll hear me on at least 2 of the tracks. I am on a mixtape that Drake did. That track is called Overdose on Life, produced by the producer Omen. Do people know when they're hearing a harp in a recording? Sometimes it's plain as day. There's a big glissando and you know that that's a harp. People have often said to me sometimes, "Brandee, you make the harp sound like a piano." I'm aware of that. Sometimes I try to make it sound harpy. Some producers that I work with, they'll take a mix and mix me in so well that you actually don't know there's a harp in it. In terms of playing the harp and why it's kind of special is it's an instrument that you completely control the sound that comes out of it. It's a really, really, really ruthless and honest instrument. You can't be a dishonest player. What you put out there, that's it. One thing about my playing is it's very natural. I'm very flawed, and I'm confident with my flaws, you know. If I wasn't, I'd just go hide underneath a rock. People often say, "Oh my gosh, you're the only harpist I've ever seen." But to me, as a harpist, I know tons of us. You know, there are so many harpists, especially here in New York. The harp is a beautiful instrument, that's the first thing people say. Like, "Oh my gosh, this is so beautiful." When you start playing harp, the harp is much smaller. You start on a smaller harp that's heavy. So I push that thing around on a dolly. And that's the most disinteresting part of playing the harp. I'd like to have a personal mover. I do have an EP with my quartet. Actually, the EP is just trio. It's harp, bass, and drums. It does feature the singer Naya on a couple of tracks, and the title of that EP is Prelude. And it's got 2 originals, and it's got 2 standards on it. So, looking forward to recording a full length, hopefully around the end of the summer if I cross my fingers really tight. I also have my own quartet, which is bass, upright bass, drum set, tenor saxophone, and harp, which we do, we play concerts, and they're really a lot of fun. Most recently, we recorded a song I wrote for Trayvon Martin entitled "He Has a Name" and subtitled "Awareness." And I've been selling it, and I'm donating all the proceeds to the NAACP's Legal Defense and Educational Fund. The piece I wrote for Trayvon Martin, He Has a Name, Awareness, is written for a quintet, harp, flute, tenor saxophone, bass, and drums. But the melody in the beginning goes something like this. This is BRANDEE YOUNGER for Capsulocity.